I think I'm grateful for a lot of things. And I think, when I realized the different things that I've done in my different ministries and everything else, I always found that to be such a powerful experience. And when I was working in higher ed, I would be going on trips to see the sisters in Brazil or in Appalachia, especially, or even I went to, where else did I go? Mexico, some places like that. And so I would bring students to those places and they'd get to know what the sisters do. They get to watch it. And I realized that for myself, my taking them there was part of my ministry at that point, but also the kind of things that I'd be sitting in my office in a college, and some students would walk in, and we'd sit there for hours talking, and I knew that was my job. But I didn't feel like it was a job. It never felt like I'm a task. It was like, this is right. And even when I was doing occupational therapy, I loved going around to the different rooms for residents and talking with them and what was on their mind at that time. Because oftentimes I felt like I ended up being more pastoral care and, ministry in that kind of way than the specific job I was doing. So that's where I felt like, my ministry is something much broader. It's much broader, but it's much more specific at the same time. So I used to love it. I still like what I do. I mean, it's hard, the things that I do now, but at least it's right. I can tell it's right by talking to residents and talking to the staff at the facilities and having people be glad that they see me coming in the door. And I know it's not just because, I'm coming to talk to them, but it's because it's the right thing. And I feel like I'm almost like walking in with God there with me. Well, I guess when I entered, I never, knew how long I'd be in, or if I would stay, or because I have to say we entered the time when it was post Vatican II, and there were lots of people leaving the communities because it was either moving too fast or too slow. And so the ones of us that stayed were sort of okay with the way it was going, I think, to a certain extent. But I mean, even I remember when I was a novice, the sisters who were at Bishop Knoll, which was my high school, would come at visitation Sunday, and they would be coming to tell me they were leaving because they didn't want me to hear it from the rumor system. And I remember thinking, that's so odd. It was just an odd time to have all those people coming and saying they were leaving. And I remember even in the beginning, people were saying, oh, pray for my perseverance. And I remember, pray for your perseverance. It took so much to get in here. Why, why do you have to pray for your perseverance? But in living it, I realize there are times that are not easy, but that doesn't mean it's good or bad. It just means that you're changing in your own life. And sometimes in the change, you have to also be open to what that means inside. And sometimes it's an easy change and it's something you can do without a problem, but sometimes it's not quite that easy. So that's why. So for me, to say, oh, I'm coming to my Jubilee year, and I thinking, wow, I went for my 25th 25 years ago, and that was significant because it was like, wow, I've been doing this for this long, and I'm surprised. But then for the 50, it's more like, wow, it's definitely more life commitment, and I have no more doubts. So I think that's part of the joy, is to not have the doubts that you went through at earlier times in your life. That we believe Father Moreau's vision in the beginning of really understanding what it means. Because I've told people, we're Sister of Holy Cross, and sometimes some of my Protestant friends, especially, always say, "Why do you like to be a Holy Cross? That seems so negative." And I said, "No, it isn't negative, really. What it is it's showing us that there are some really hard times in life, but we're living it in such a way that it makes it transformational. It makes it moving and changing, and that we're not in a same like a rut. We really do have the opportunity to really be more for people and more for ourselves. I mean, we're called to move beyond ourselves all the time like that. So I really think that's a lot of what we're doing. And so seeing people after having been in the community for over 50 years makes us go like, wow, this is something much broader, much more exciting, much more But it's not to say that life is exciting every day, by any means, but it can get a little mundane and a little, but on the whole, it's really good. And it's something that we can be positive about and can be looking to say, what is God calling me to today?